You know the opening line of the Declaration of Independence, right? When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another. That one. Well, what if I told you that Jefferson didn't come up with that sitting in Philadelphia, pondering the future and all of that, thinking deep thoughts about freedom? What if he figured it out arguing for a divorce case? For a doctor whose wife was allegedly sleeping with the governor. Because that's what happened. November 1772, Thomas Jefferson's 29-year-old, not yet a founding father, just a lawyer, but a pretty good one. He's done hundreds of cases across Virginia, but still, just a lawyer. He got married 11 months ago. His first daughter's born 2 months ago. Building a house on a mountain he keeps redesigning because he literally cannot leave it alone. This is not the Jefferson of the monuments. This is Jefferson the lawyer. The meticulous, ambitious Thomas Jefferson. And he was about to get handed the most scandalous case in Williamsburg. But let me take you back 2 more years, 1770. A mixed-race man named Samuel Howell is being held in indentured servitude. His grandmother was a free white woman. His grandfather was black. Virginia law said that children of that union were bound to his servitude until the age of 31. His mother served her time, but had Samuel while still under bond. Claimed Samuel owed his time too. Takes the case pro bono, free of charge. He argues 2 things. 1, there's no law covering third-generation children. That the statute literally does not reach that far. 2, the bigger swing, under the law of nature, all men are born free. No statute can override it. Judge cuts him off mid-sentence. He doesn't even let the other lawyer speak. He rules against Howell on the spot. Jefferson walks out, finds Samuel, and gives him money out of his own pocket. Sam uses it to run. Jefferson lost that case, but he kept the argument and filed it away, because foreshadowing. 2 years later, here comes Blair. Dr. James Blair, prominent physician, Williamsburg, Virginia. He marries a lady, Catherine Kitty Eustace, in 1771. They separate almost immediately. Rumors were flying around. Apparently, the doctor's father was sick, ailing, and the doctor was supposed to be getting a very, 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 very big sum of money. But, allegedly, there's all kinds of rumors. Word gets out, because of course it does. The Dr. Blair has been rendered impotent by a nervous disorder. The doctor can't perform. Impotency? 1771? Not only is it embarrassing, it is also legally significant. Because no consummation potentially means no valid marriage. It gets worse for Dr. Blair because while everyone's busy toting about what he allegedly can or can't do, nobody's talking about what Kitty allegedly is doing, spending a suspicious amount of time with the new dude in town. The Earl of Dunmore, the royal governor of Virginia. Talk about a small hood, right? Blair finds out about it and does the most reasonable, measured thing, that being going straight to the governor's face and accusing him of sleeping with his wife. The governor responds by threatening to fire Blair's brother, the clerk of the governor's council, if Blair doesn't publicly take it back. Blair takes it back. Man, my brother, your fucking wife. You rascal, you scallywag. So let's recap. The doctor can't get it up. His wife is allegedly getting dicked down by the crown-appointed governor. When Blair tries to do something about it, the governor pretty much is like, that's a nice career your brother has there. And on top of all of this, the whole ass colony knows every single detail about this. Blair wants a divorce. Bet you guys had no idea you'd be learning about this today, did you? Okay, so here's the problem. Divorce is illegal. Under British rule, you have to petition Parliament in London, which almost never grants them. In 155 years of Virginia's existence as a British colony, not one single divorce had ever been granted. Zero. Zilch. Nada. So Jefferson's job isn't just to win the case. He has to argue that divorce should be legal at all. The British law doesn't get to reach across the ocean and tell the colonists of Virginia who they have to stay married to. Thomas, being Thomas, locked himself in Monticello for a solid month. Studies everything he can. Philosophy of divorce, history of marital law, the limits of British authority over the colonies. His notes survive. Jefferson's divorce research keeps landing on the same argument. Once you're an ocean away, a parliament that doesn't represent you has no valid authority over you or your life. Your rights don't come from parliament. They come from nature. Exist independent of any king or legislature. He even writes the phrase, right there, in his own divorce notes, natural rights. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands. Same argument, same structure, same language. Jefferson didn't invent this in Philadelphia in 1776. He built it in a Virginia courtroom in 1770. He refined it at Monticello in 1772. And by the time Philly rolled around, he'd been losing that argument for 6 years. The Declaration was an inspiration. It was the appeal after 2 losses. Okay, back to the court case. Jefferson's ready. Bill is drafted. Case is prepared. December 26, 1772. James Blair dies at his uncle's house. No foul play. He just dismissed. Bill shelved. Jefferson puts his notes away. Blair does get one last shot, however. He leaves this plane of existence, handing out one final blow to Kitty, leaving her absolutely nothing. And apparently, that is a violation of Virginia law. So Kitty sues. And going back to how our justice system operates, even when we were under British rule, the Earl of Dunmore, that governor that she'd been shagging, her alleged boyfriend, he's the one presiding over the case. Goes back and forth. Kitty eventually wins. Jefferson, representing Blair's estate, loses, beaten by his own close friend, Patrick Henry. Yeah, if you don't know, Patrick Henry's that fucking dude. The woman at the center of the scandal that accidentally sparked the philosophical framework for American independence, won in a courtroom run by her alleged lover, America. That's why I brought up the impotency thing, because she had to take this to court like 3 times, and that was their main argument. You can't consummate a marriage if you can't. So yeah, a man who allegedly couldn't perform accidentally kind of bothered the country. Once again, America. You can't write this shit. Jefferson went back to those notes. You can trace the language, the logic, the structure from a Virginia courtroom in 1770 through a Williamsburg divorce case in 1772, straight into the Declaration of Independence in 1776. The moment separation becomes not just justified, but necessary. He worked it all out, trying to get an indentured servant free and end a bad marriage. One of the most important phrases in American history started as a losing argument in a Virginia courtroom over a doctor who couldn't get it up and allegedly loose wife. That's what we're all about. Bet you didn't know that. He still fucking owns slaves.